To study heights and distances, guys, we will always have a reference line. Okay, the reference line will basically keep on changing. Okay, many a times it is the ground level. Okay, where you will have an observer, right? And if nothing is mentioned, okay, you have to take the height. You have to take the height of the observer as negligible. Okay, so the reference line generally is the ground level. Okay, but many a times the reference line might be some particular line in the like air probably. Okay, अगर कोई aircraft वगैरह move हो रहा होगा तो the reference line may also be some underwater line where you study motions of some underwater like objects or animals. Okay, so let's say I have a building over here, right? Okay, and the observer is observing the top of the building, right? So if you observe carefully, guys, the top of the building is basically subtending some angle at the observer. This angle alpha is called as the angle of elevation. Okay, कितना degrees कोई object ऊपर है. For example, this is the object. Okay, ये ground level से एक observer अगर यहाँ पे है यहाँ पे, okay, ये ground level से कितना degrees ऊपर है. This is called as the angle of elevation here in this case. Okay, so you can observe, guys, this what I've shown here. Okay, alpha, it is the angle of elevation. Okay, ये object का top जो है वो कितना degrees ऊपर है, कितना degrees elevated है from the ground. Okay, same way if suppose you have a submarine which is moving below the surface of water, like in this case. So in this case we have something called as the angle of depression. Okay, कितना degrees ये नीचे है उस particular reference line, that is the angle of depression. Okay, now what we have to do in this case is, guys, you have to consider the angle of elevation and depression. Okay, and given some distances, you have to find out the unknown distances here in this case. Okay, so I'll give you an example now. Suppose I tell you here the angle of elevation is 30 degrees of the top of the building, and the distance of the building from the observer is 10 meters. Okay, and I'm supposed to find the height of the building. Okay, now to do that, what I will do is I will drop the height of the building. Okay, call it as h here in this case. And now we have been given the opposites. We have been given the adjacent side of 30 degrees, and we want to find the opposite side. Okay, so you can deal with either cot or tan, right? These two ratios deal with the adjacent or the opposite sides, right? So we can write the equation for cot 30 or tan 30. Okay, I'll prefer writing tan 30. Okay, so tan 30 is equal to opposite upon adjacent. Okay, so that gives us tan 30, which is 1 by root 3 equals to h by 10. Okay, h is nothing but 10 by root 3. You can multiply and divide by root 3 upon niche. The height of the building is 10 root 3 upon 3. So that's the basic application of how we'll be applying trigonometric ratios to calculate the heights and distances. Okay, let's look at a typical question in this regard. Shivam is standing in front of a building at a distance of 30 feet. The angle of elevation for the top of the building is 30 degrees. There is one electric pole between Shivam and the building. Shivam can observe the top of the building just beyond the top of the pole. If Shivam is standing at a distance of 10 feet from the pole, find the pole's height. Okay. So as you can observe, we have the observer. Okay, you can see the left eye blinking. Okay, not here on the screen right now. You can see an eye blinking. That's the observer level I'm considering. Okay, and there is the building. Okay, complete building, and it is given that the distance between the building and the observer is 30 meters as per the question. 30 feet, sorry, 30 units or 30 feet. Okay, now the angle of elevation made is 30 degrees as per the question. Okay, and between the eye of the observer, okay, and the top of the building, there is a lamp post or there is an electric post, right? So the observer observes, or Shivam observes that, okay, the top of the building is just beyond the top of the pole. Okay, that means the observer, the top of the pole, and the top of the building, all three are in a straight line, isn't it? That is what this particular information means. So now they're asking you find the pole's height. Very simple, drop the perpendicular here. Okay, that is going to be height of the pole h. Distance to the height of the pole, or distance to the pole from the observer, is 10 feet in this question, right? Okay, so again we apply tan 30. Okay, tan 30 will be h by 10, and same way 1 by root 3 tan 30 hota hai equals to h by 10. H is 10 by root 3. Rationalize, we get the same answer. So if you observe, it is the exact same question we solved previously. Wahi hai, right? Yahan pe. Okay, only thing to observe is the distance of the building and the observer is basically redundant over here. Okay, it's not required anywhere. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you understood this part. We'll look at the next question. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower 30 meters high from 2 points on the level ground on its opposite sides are 45 degrees and 60 degrees. What is the distance between the 2 points? Okay, so what I'm saying, or whatever the question is saying right now, is going to be demonstrated here in this diagram. Okay, there's a tower here, and the top of the tower is basically 60 degrees and 45 degrees from two sides. Okay, either sides or opposite sides of the tower. Okay, and the height of the tower is given as 30 meters, right? So just replace the entire tower by a vertical line, and we need to find the distance BC in this case. That is what is required, right? So what we do is, guys, we consider two triangles over here. First is triangle ABD. You can see over here. Triangle ABD, may, if I take tan 45, tan 45 will be opposite side AD divided by the adjacent side BD, right? Okay, so that's what exactly I'll write. Tan 45 is AD upon BD, but AD is the height of the tower, right? So it can be written as 30. Same way, guys, I'll write BD by cross multiplying as 30 upon tan 45. Tan 45 we know is equal to 1, right? Now I'll apply again something similar in the next triangle. The next triangle is triangle ADC. In triangle ADC, guys, if I consider with respect to 60 degrees, AD is the opposite side and DC is the adjacent side, right? So I'll again apply tan 60. Tan 60 will be equal to 30 divided by CD. Or if you write CD, it will be 30 divided by tan 60. Tan 60 is root 3. So CD is 30 divided by root 3. Okay. And you can rationalize. Okay. Multiply upon each by root 3. So ये क्या हो जाएगा? 30 root 3 divided by root 3 into root 3, which is equal to 3. Right? 3 cancel. It's 10 root 3. Now going on to what is required. What is required is going to be the distance BC. If you observe, guys, BC is nothing but the answer is 30 plus 10 root 3. As simple.